Hey, this is Future Consideration. I'm Matt. That's Dan. Biggest news in the NFL week was the trade that shook up the draft. The Rams moving up from 15 to the first overall spot. Titans trading back to get a slew of picks. Dan, I hate to say this, but who won the trade?
Traditionally speaking, I think it's the Titans. To accrue that much in the way of picks later on in this year's draft and a first rounder next year, and I believe a third rounder next year, so they're in a very good spot as for building cheap talent. And I think with so many needs to address that the Titans still have on both sides of the ball, I think it's safe to say at this point, even if Carson Wentz turns out to be really good at some point, I like what Tennessee has done for both the short and long term.
We've seen it before, whether it's the Cowboys trading Herschel Walker to get a bunch of picks, or the Rams themselves trading back to allow the Washington team name to get RG3, that getting those picks is the smarter decision. However, if the Rams do get their franchise quarterback, if he turns out to be good, I think they're going to be very happy with the trade.
Yes.
So let's say both teams win the trade. Who else benefits from this?
So first off, I think the Chargers are in a terrific place right now because their options sort of open up. Laramie Tunsil, potentially, if Cleveland doesn't trade the pick or a team doesn't swoop in to trade Jared Goff or Carson Wentz, whoever ends up at that number 2 spot, Cleveland could go Laramie Tunsil and build their offensive lineup. They could go Jalen Ramsey still. Obviously, he was probably available in both places. So I think the Chargers are in a great place. I think Paxton Lynch is actually in an interesting place to just make more money because if there is a run of quarterbacks at the top, then suddenly his value skyrockets as teams are scrambling because I think there is a drop-off after Paxton Lynch. Who do you see as another winner here?
I think the Niners picking at 7 have a really interesting choice. They're going to have more options with quarterbacks going at 1 and 2. Suddenly that opens up a very, very talented player for them. They might get Laramie Tunsil if the Chargers don't take him, or they might get Miles Jack, who was originally thought to be going at 4th or 5th overall, and he could be the next Patrick Willis.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the Laramie Tunsil thing, I think obviously somebody like Miles Jack, who teams are looking at and sort of figuring out if his medical recheck went up to their standard. I think that's interesting because those are clear top 5 talents that could fall to a team like the Niners at 7. Really, if somebody like Jalen Ramsey or Jalen Ramsey himself falls to the Jags at 5, that's a scary, scary situation for everybody else in the league.
Yeah, if the Jags end up with Jalen Ramsey at 5, it could be kind of like the Jets getting Leonard Williams at 6 overall, where this guy was like, oh, this is an impact defensive player that might be the best guy in the draft.
Yeah, everybody thought he was going to go top 3, top 2 last year, and he dropped. Who do you think, now that we have this one big domino with the number 1 overall pick, what are other dominoes now that people are seeing? People are willing to make moves. Where else do you see the first round moving?
I think that the Cleveland Browns desperately want to trade out of that 2nd spot. Everything that we know from their new front office, they value the slew of picks, and I think that they're probably pretty bummed that the Titans were able to pull off the trade that the Browns really wanted to do.
Right.
So I think that it's some other team that is going to be hungry for, I assume, Jared Goff to be the second pick off the board. Some other quarterback desperate team is going to trade up to 2 to get the.
It could be the Eagles at 7, or excuse me, at 8. It could be the Jets or the Bills in that 19-20 area. And if there is a team, and so Paxton Lynch becomes more valuable, like we said, if there is a team that has shown a need or a want to covet a cheap young quarterback, it might be Denver at 31. I don't know where they jump into, but if they love Paxton Lynch, if they even love Goff, who knows? I think they could see a little bit of room for movement.
Yeah, Connor Cook has drawn comparisons to Kirk Cousins for obvious reasons. Similar players, same college, obviously. But if the Broncos wanted someone with a bit more physicality or maybe just a higher ceiling, they could trade up and get in the mix.
Yeah, Paxton Lynch certainly makes sense for them. And I think if there's anything we've learned, it's going to be a lot more exciting if teams are moving around and making moves.
What do you think? Who's moving up? Who's moving down? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
And subscribe to the SB Nation channel. Throw us those thumbs up. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. Who won the trade? Titans or Rams? Let's go.